Hello, this is David Taylor-Klaus, and I am a results leader.
You're listening to ResultsLeader.fm. Being a thought leader is easy. Getting results is hard. This show is for the results leader who lives and dies by their results. Here is your host and Chief Results Leader, Jonathan Rivera.
This is the only show on the internet for results leaders. Welcome back, boys and girls, to another edition. So glad that you're here. And as always, we are going to speak to another results leader out there doing the thing for his clients today. Mr. David TK joins me. He is a coach. He's a best-selling author. He is a funny guy. And most importantly, he reintroduces successful entrepreneurs to their families. Let's jump in with David. David, welcome to the show. I usually ask my guests, are you ready to rock this thing? But I have this odd feeling that you started rocking before you got here.
I came ready.
Yeah, he's ready to rock, ladies and gentlemen. So let's jump into this. What book have you given most as a gift?
The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I not only give it to all my clients, I have given it to so many people. All of a $6 book. I have hundreds and thousands of dollars out. Don Miguel Ruiz should be sending me thank you notes. No, it's the perfect book for recalibrating the way we think and getting out of the constant trigger state that our world, even pre-COVID, put us all into. So I firmly recommend it. 100 odd pages, easy to read. Go get it.
Now, you said the triggered state pre-COVID. Has that gone away or has it gotten worse?
Oh, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. And if it hadn't gotten worse for you personally, it's gotten worse for everybody around you. So we're all navigating it, whether it's personally or adjacent.
I want you to tell us a story of how an apparent failure set you up for later success.
No, I threw a party and nobody came. There's nothing worse than, as a coach, a self-professed thought leader, put content out there, I put programs out there, I put invitations for people to jump into a sandbox and play. And when you put out an invitation and nobody raises their hand and nobody says yes, it sucks. It's on the surface, it's an abject failure, right? I put all this effort and energy into creating something, put it into marketing something, put it into outreach, and got a ginormous no. The beautiful thing about it, because by all surface definitions, it was definitely a failure. However, it gave me the chance to sit back and pay attention, to look at how I created it, how I designed it, where I was emotionally, spiritually, physically when I created that piece to put out in the world. Our work product is stained by the energy of the container in which it's created. And I had taken my eye off the ball. I had let a bunch of clients complete and I hadn't refilled my pipeline. And all of a sudden I realized I was going to face something I hadn't seen in 13 years since I became a coach. I was going to see a revenue shortfall for that month. Holy shit. So I panicked. And from that panic, from that feeling of scarcity, I built this program. I built this content and I marketed it from that place of scarcity. And let me tell you something, nobody wants to be around that. So I started getting very, very intentional about the energy in which things that I put out in the world are created. And if it's not coming from a good place, I'm not putting it out there. So huge shift for me. Really super uncomfortable. Thanks for bringing it up.
How'd you make the shift though because I get it. And that's the natural entrepreneur response is, oh no, things are not working. I'm going to just throw more at the fan. And so how do you make that shift? How do you make that conscious choice of how you're putting or the energy you're putting behind what you put out into the world?
Is there a flip answer for it? Because it's going to come out. A, I paid attention, and B, I listened when somebody slapped me. My wife looked at content pages that I had put up on my site, and I think her verbatim response was, ew.
Ooh.
Wow. Because it didn't sound like me. It didn't feel like me. It didn't come across like me. It came across with an energy that was sort of flipped out, not centered, not grounded. And what people work with me for is to find that groundedness, not scattered and scarcity and freaked out. Instead of rejecting the feedback, I received it. It's easy for us to say, ooh, that sounds awful. I don't want it. No, but hey, it came from somewhere, right? And I chose to trust it. And I decided to do something different. That's the key.
What would you say is the most worthwhile investment that you have ever made?
myself. I mean, honestly, so literally financial investment, I bought stock in a company I believed in. It didn't matter if people thought they were silly or it was silly. I looked at the companies I believed in, I did some research, and I decided to buy, and I decided to keep buying over the next year. So long before the split, I owned Apple at between $16 and $32 a share and sold it somewhere over 700. I mean, it helped fund our kid's first year out becoming an actor. It helped fund a whole bunch of things. But the worthwhile investment, the financial investment, was I invested in something I believed in. I paid attention. Money's not the currency that I pay most attention to now. It's the real currencies are time, effort, energy, and attention. And so when I look at what was the most valuable investment, when I look at those currencies, yeah, I joined Vistage, an international CEO group designed to grow the CEO and focus on getting better at being a leader and being a human. And I invested in other peer groups and coaching and coach training for me. Those investments in myself, by far the best investment ever.
How do you go about picking a good coach?
I don't know. The first coach I hired, I realized as I got on the phone with him, I said, I hope the answer is no, but are you taking new clients? I realized he scared the hell out of me. That's a good sign. Somebody who you know is going to push you. But look, the single most indicative element of coaching to indicate success in a coaching relationship is the personal connection between a coach and their client. So if you're picking a coach, make sure it's somebody who inspires you, lights you up, somebody you like, somebody you generally feel a connection to. You don't just flip through a list and say, oh, I want that coach. You have to get to know them and they have to get to know you because you both need to decide whether you feel you're a good match. And a coach who will coach anybody, not a good coach. Coach that only want to work with people that they connect to, better chance they're a good coach.
That is some simple advice and poignant, my friend. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
God, it's one that pissed me off when it first surfaced for me. The idea there's a quote that Carl Jung gets credit for. It's much older, and it's we do not see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So it pissed me off at first. I was like, oh great, we're stuck. So I'm only seeing it the way I see it because the world around me because I'm me. Now I'm dead. Right. So it pissed me off. But that was a good sign to pay more attention. It is one of the most powerful things I've ever learned that the lens through which we choose to see the world, call it mindset, colors the evidence that we collect. Well, if it colors the evidence, then the evidence is what we use to decide what the experience is, positive, negative. And so if you change your lens, you change the evidence you collect. So by changing your lens, you literally change your life. That was amazingly freeing. Gave me the opportunity to see if I can't affect everything and everyone else that's going on around me, but I can impact my appreciation of it, my understanding of it, my beliefs around it, my thinking around it. I can change my experience by changing the lenses through which I see this world.
How do you change that lens?
Life changing. First, if you're going to be good at anything, you have to be willing to suck at it first. So you have to suck at changing your lens in order to get better at it. And that's try different ways of looking at it. Look, not this is going to come off self serving, and I know it is. I wrote a book for exactly that. Each week, the book is Mindset Mondays 52 Ways to Rewire Your Thinking and Transform Your Life. And I wrote it in a way that I could have used it coming up as an entrepreneur. And that is each week it gave me a new lens to focus on and 6 steps for each one to play with it out in my world and see how it worked and see how it could work for me. And that's exactly how you do it. You try it on, you futz around with it, you see what works, what doesn't work, and you learn from it. Humans are built for trial and error. We just get in our own way by judging ourselves for when we fail. It's not a failure if you learn from it. So that's how you change your lens. Practice.
Going to give you credit. First time on the show, we hear futz around. Thank you for that. We'll be
You're
keeping that
welcome.
around. So, what are some bad recommendations you hear in your area of expertise?
It's in my industry, the worst thing you can ever hear is coach anybody. I've been a mentor coach for 9 years, and that is the worst advice that any new coach and by the way, this also maps to any of your listeners that are direct service providers. The worst thing you can do is just serve anyone. I watch coaches over and over again coach anyone. They fill their book of business while they're going through training and certification with anybody with a pulse who's willing to sit still for coaching. And they end up getting through all the certifications and they look at their book of business and say, ew, I don't really like this. Yeah, I'm not lit up by, I'm not inspired or intimidated by or engaged by the people I'm working with. And we lose a lot of potentially really good coaches. What they skip over and what the term serve anybody leads people to do is skip over the fundamentals of figuring out who the hell you want to serve. Who are you here to serve? Once you figure that out, damn, yes, serve anybody as long as they're in that population. You're going to spend your time serving, might as well make it somebody you're drawn to serve.
Now we're about to get into your favorite part of the show where we talk about results. But first, I've got to ask you, are you picking up what we're laying down here? I hope so. That's why we do the show every week. And I want to ask you for a little bit of help. If there's someone out there that you think can benefit from this show, why not share it with them? Put it out there, hit the share button, use hashtag ResultsLeaderFM, and get it out there. Now let's jump back into the interview. Why do results matter?
Super monstrous question because it touches on the way we're raised, the way we're acculturated, the way we're socialized, and we're not going to rewrite that anytime soon. So because we can't immediately change the way humans are grown, yes, results matter because that's one seemingly objective way for us to presume and measure our progress forward. And if for no other reason other than results are important so that we retrain ourselves how to celebrate and how to compound our success by celebrating the successes we have along the way, that's the best reason by itself for results. Yes, there's social proof. Yes, we live in a world with other people and results are important culturally. And how do you make them important for you? You use them as a measure of progress, not accomplishment. And you celebrate the results as you go. It's good boot camp training for being a better human.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. Enjoy that journey. That's where we spend most of our time. So thank you for that. That was beautiful. In the last 5 years, what new realization has helped you get better results for your clients?
So there's a really cool body of work called positive intelligence, PQ for short. And the absolute unequivocal universality of the negative narratives in our head, what positive intelligence does incredibly well is helps us break down and better understand not just that we have negative narratives in our head, whether it's a hyperachiever voice, a controller voice, a pleaser voice, whatever they may be, the different blend is different for each of us, but we all have these negative narrative voices that run in our head and are the only thing tripping us up, that stand between us and the success that we want to create in our own world. And by diving deeper into that body of work and bringing that to my clients, that has changed the results for my clients more than anything else. And by the way, go to positiveintelligence.com, click on the assessments, take the saboteur assessment. It's free. Read the results that come back. I make no money off this program. This is their work. And it's the foundation to what's getting in your way. All the work that I do, I teach my clients that body of work at the beginning. And I've used it since '09 initially. The assessment, I've started actually dove into the work in the last 4 years. It's incredibly powerful at helping people get out of their own damn way and to harness the narratives in their head to move them forward instead of using it as permission to stay stuck. So the universality of those negative internal dialogues, oh my God, that was incredibly powerful at generating results for clients.
I like that. I'm going to take that positive intelligence quiz there and see where I'm at. See my self saboteur appear before me because we all have that, don't we? Just a little bit at least. But let's talk about your business. What area of your business would you like better results?
I'm impatient. I have ADD. I want everything to be faster. There's this knee jerk. I want it to be bigger, better, faster, more. But I think the areas of my business that I want better results, well, let's just say different results. Leverage. I'm very clear about how much time, effort, and energy I want to put out into the world, the more I can leverage that investment, and the more return I can get, those are the results I want to do better at. And I mean, a simple way to look at leverage is yeah, I could spend X number of hours over a course of a year coaching one more one to one client, or for the same amount of time, launch a small group where I can serve 10 people at a time and earn 5 times as much. Right. So that's a simple example of leverage, but I want to see that on all of my activities, all the places where I put in time, effort, energy, whether it's my training. I want to see a higher return for less time put in, less effort. So I'm looking for those, I hate to call them hacks, but yeah. So those are places that I want to see better results is leveraging my 4 assets: time, effort, energy, and attention.
Yeah, I like that. What results are you most proud of?
All right. So on the surface, one of the things that I'm really proud of is when I sold my company in '09 and went full-time coaching, I had hit that magical six-figure mark within the first 10 months. And it was within 2 years that I had well over 6 figures of income. By the way, six-figure mark is everybody gets so bloody excited about it, but you can spend 99,000 in advertising to generate 100 grand worth of revenue. 100 grand revenue mark, fine, that's one thing. But when you switch it to 6 figures of income or 7 figures of income, that's what we need more entrepreneurs paying attention to is what they actually get to take home, not the, it's going to be crass, not the ego driven top line number. The bottom line is the only one that really matters. So yeah, I'm proud of that. I get to hammer it as well, especially when I talk to other coaches about mentor coaching for that small piece of my practice where I do the mentor coaching. But the thing that really matters for me is I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. Right? I've been at this, doing it wrong and getting better all the way along. And all that time, I've got a 30-year marriage. We're still connected and in love with each other. We have 3 kids and now a daughter in law, all of whom are active parts of our lives. I love getting up every day and I look forward to both the present and the future. That's the result I'm proudest of.
Any parting thoughts you want to share with the results leaders who are listening to us right now?
Yes, it's really hard to hear at speed. Results leaders tend to skew towards incredibly driven. And with drive comes for an incredible push. Vaynerchuk calls it hustle. One more time, I'm going to scream. It's that drive that keeps us moving at a relentless pace. And it's hard to hear when you're moving at speed. Open your window and try to have a conversation with somebody in a car going 80 miles an hour. It's hard to hear when we're moving quickly. It's important to slow down, pay attention, do the deep digging, do the internal work, listen to what's important, what's working you want to see more of, what's happening that you want to see less of or see different, what's missing that wants to be created. Those questions get answered best by slowing down. The best way to move faster, build more, become more is to slow down and do that core work. You slow down to speed up.
I have no doubt that our listeners are going to want more from you. So, where can they go?
Cool. All right. So there are 2 ways. Easiest one is go to rewireframework.com. No funny spelling, rewireframework.com. Reason is you'll get, yes, you have access to information about me, but you can also download the Rewire Framework. That's the 6-step process I built that shows up at the end of every chapter in Mindset Mondays. What's important is that question you asked me earlier about how do you change your lens? This is how. The Rewire Framework is a tool to help you do it step by step, regardless of what the shift is you're trying to create. This is a framework you can map onto it. You can download it. You're not going to get inundated by a bajillion emails. Download it and enjoy. You can also go to dtkcoaching.com and get much more information about me, what I do, to whom I do it, and why they like having it done to them. It's all there.
Oh, man, it has been a pleasure, David. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you, results leaders, for tuning in. Another episode is in the can. That is a wrap for another edition of resultsleader.fm. If you are out there getting results for your clients and you want to be featured on the show, go to resultsleader.fm now and apply to be on the show. And if you love what you're hearing, share the show, give us a rating and review, do anything to help us get the message out there. Thought leadership is easy, but results leadership is hard. We'll catch you on the next one.
This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.